Welcome back to Trader UK, the money management channel. A big hello to my now 1,642 channel subscribers. Thank you all for your continued support. As the year is drawing to a close, I want to share with you how I'm preparing my portfolio, ready for it to move into the new year. I'm going to share with you the positions that I'm leaving behind in 2020 and those that I'm carrying forward into the new year. So I'm going to share this with you on screen now, and we'll have a look at some of the data. You can see the current balance on this Degiro portfolio, which is the higher risk portfolio. This is 19,200 or just above. But this is also the best performing portfolio of 2020, and I actually expect this to be my best performing portfolio of 2021 as well. So I'm going to start by sharing with you the positions that I've cut over the last few days that won't be carried forward into 2021. Here on screen we have Roche, 3M, GlaxoSmithKline, Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola. I've cut all of these positions from the portfolio. I will not be carrying them forward into 2021. With these, it was a bit of a mixed bag really. Two of the positions were in the green. They were about 10% up since I've held them. The other three, the pharmaceuticals, were actually in the red. I was hopeful of a good year in 2021 for the pharmaceutical sector as things start to get back to normal, but I just don't see any huge, even with that, I don't see any huge upside potential. So I believe the money is better utilized elsewhere. So those positions did not make the cut. On top of that, companies like Coca-Cola, these are just really diversification plays that are in my portfolio. I don't actually believe in those companies. 3M as well, I don't actually make use of many of their products. Same with Coca-Cola, so they've gone. I'm sure they will do just fine moving forward, but they won't be doing fine with me as an investor. And I will try to put that money to better use elsewhere. Now, let's move on to the positions that I really do believe in, the companies that I will be holding through 2021. We'll start with the smaller positions and we'll work our way up to the bigger positions that I hold. First up here, we have Shift Technology. So this on screen, you can see it's a tiny position. I may increase this further depending on how it performs. This is for the second-hand car market. It's not the leader in their field. The idea is to start getting some exposure to this sector, which has seen a huge boost courtesy of the pandemic. Then we have Norwegian Airlines, a recent investment. This company is actually on the brink of collapse. I knew that when I invested. Fast running out of cash. The government has refused them any additional support, even though they did support them in the past. So they have a few months before they potentially go under. This is an all or nothing play. Either in 12 months time, this company will have 10x'd or it will have gone to zero. So we'll see how this one plays out. But as you can see, it's a tiny position and that's the reason why. Next up is Uber. Now Uber has actually performed very well in 2020. Half of the business is still in recovery mode. Obviously the food delivery side, Uber Eats, has performed really well and that's actually been driving this growth. And again, I expect them to do really well in 2021 as well. Driverless technology is here. They're actually doing trials in California at the moment, driverless deliveries. And I think that Uber will have a really good way of integrating that, and that will actually help their business model. So we'll see how that plays out, but I'll certainly be holding this through 2021. I'm just going to bring up on screen for you CCL, Carnival Corp. I actually hold 3 cruise lines still, and although they've performed fairly well overall, CCL is my worst performing cruise line, probably because I didn't get them at the best price originally, but I'm still holding all 3. I believe all of these cruise lines I hold will double in value by the end of 2021. I'm going to explain the reason behind that at the end of the video once we get to my final position, because there is an underlying trend here that we'll take a look at, but happy to hold Carnival through 2021. Norwegian Cruise Lines, the second of my cruise line holdings. This one's already sitting on 126% growth, but I still see this doubling by the end of 2021, so a good play for me. Marston's Brewery. Now, in terms of the stock price, it's actually starting to perform fairly well now. I want to give these a run through 2021. They have that new partnership with Carlsberg in the UK, which I believe is going to generate some big cost savings for them. So again, this will be a hold all the way through the year. Royal Caribbean, the final cruise line holding, 122% up this one. Another opportunity to double money in 2021. Now moving on to EasyJet, the UK-based European budget airline. Now I'm deliberately avoiding transatlantic airlines at the moment purely because of the hit they're going to take from the lack of business travel moving forward. But luckily, EasyJet don't really operate in that space too much. Of course, there will be some impact. But if anything, the business class individuals who still need to fly in 2021, who can't use Zoom, who can't use Skype, these types of things where that won't suffice, they may well find themselves on EasyJet flights. I know if I were running a business and I had to send someone to go and attend a meeting in person, if you're trying to cut costs in 2021, you're not going to be sending them on a business class ticket. You're going to be sticking them on an EasyJet flight full of young people heading to Ibiza and cutting the cost, unfortunately, for them. So I'm sure a lot of people will still travel for business, but those that do travel will be traveling on cheaper alternatives. And the main reason that I'm actually holding on to EasyJet here is that they've started offering city breaks and package holidays. Now that's a sector at the moment with an £11 billion a year hole in it following the demise of Thomas Cook, and something I'm keen to capitalise on. So an increase in market share there with the package holidays and the city breaks will certainly make up for any loss of business travel that they do incur. Walt Disney. Walt Disney's a great play at the moment. I absolutely love this company. I only wish my position was higher. And in fact, I will increase this position as we move through 2021, probably sooner rather than later. With Walt Disney, you've got two parts to the business. You've got the part of the business still in recovery mode, the cruise lines, the parks as well, which are still struggling. But then obviously you've got Disney Plus, which is really driving that growth. So I'm very, very happy to increase my position in Walt Disney and hold it all the way through 2021. On the Beach, up on screen for you now, starting to perform fairly well. This is a tiny UK-based package holiday provider. This is another 2 or 3x opportunity following the collapse of Thomas Cook. If they can swallow up some of that 11 billion, and I mean in the millions they will take from that, then they will do very well. They will 2 or 3x in 2021, so I'm holding on to this one. Then we have Whitbread. Now I have a couple of thousand in Whitbread at the moment, which is actually a little bit more than I would like to have in this company. I want to bring your attention to this one because this is probably the one position that I don't see myself holding all the way through 2021. I will certainly be reducing this down at some point. The reason for that, I do think there's more recovery to come in the short term, but long term, I'm not a big believer in their model anymore. A big part of their business model is the Premier Inn brand, which obviously relies on a lot of business travelers, a lot of business users. They were also planning a big expansion in their hotel offering in Germany, and I just don't think that that is the right direction at the moment. So most likely, I will probably whittle this down to about 50% of what I'm holding at the moment, but I will wait for a better opportunity to do so. Now moving on to the bigger positions that we have here in the portfolio, TUI AG, of course, they are going to be a big beneficiary of that £11 billion a year hole that we have in the market that has been left by Thomas Cook. The main reason that I'm holding on to them, they actually have a bit of a monopoly on the UK package holiday market now. Yes, they have competitors who I hold as well in the portfolio, but those competitors are not on a scale that can challenge TUI. So it's certainly a bit of a monopoly situation. And definitely if you're looking for a long haul package holiday, if you want to go to Mexico, if you want to go to the Caribbean, the only provider that really do that are TUI. That is your only option now. You can book through British Airways as well, but they tend to actually book you onto a TUI package anyway. So like I said, it's a bit of a monopoly situation and they'll be very well positioned to take advantage of that in 2021. And finally, the biggest position in the portfolio, this is Jet2 that I'm bringing up for you now. This is the best performing position as well of 2020, 274% up so far. Now, do not make the mistake of thinking that you've missed out on Jet2. This is not done yet. This will actually end up being a 5 or 10x opportunity. Okay, from where I started, from my original investment, this will be a 5 or 10x stock. So I don't think it's too late to get in on Jet2 if you are thinking about it. I have no doubt of that. Of that £11 billion per year that Thomas Cook left in the market, Jet2 are in a very, very good position to capitalise on that. The reason being, the type of customer that Thomas Cook had, fits very well with the type of customer that Jet2 attracts. Essentially, that 11 billion per year worth of revenue that Thomas Cook was generating, those customers now have the option. They can either book their package holidays with TUI or they can book their package holidays with Jet2. Let me tell you, based on cost, what Jet2 offer, that 11 billion, they are much better fitted to go with Jet2. So I think they will actually be possibly the biggest beneficiary of that 11 billion. And bear in mind, Jet2 is a 2.5 billion market cap company. So if they did swallow up half of that market, they are going to see substantial growth. Now, I said I would mention this. There is one overriding factor that all of these companies that I've mentioned previously, all of the travel stocks, all of the cruise lines, anything in the travel and hospitality industry, there is one thing that is going to drive these companies up in 2021, and that is actually the restricted availability. Now, a lot of investors are shying away from travel at the moment because they're thinking restricted availability. These companies are going to be operating at lower capacity than they were previously, and they think that that means lower profits. Now, in the travel industry, lower capacity doesn't necessarily mean lower profits. If demand is high for the spaces that are available, then the prices go up. And demand is certainly going to be high. Following all of these national lockdowns and a year without travel, people are going to want to go on cruises, people are going to want to go on package holidays, people are going to want to jump on a flight and head off into Europe somewhere. So demand is going to be high, supply is going to be low. And what you'll see probably in the first part of 2021, you will see some offers, you will see promotions to encourage people to travel again. In the second part of 2021, you are going to see very high prices for package holidays, for cruises, and for flights as well, which is very good news for all of these companies that I'm holding, and good news for me as well as a shareholder. So that is my high-risk Degiro portfolio that I'll be carrying into 2021. A quick look as well at the positions that I'm leaving behind in 2020. My outlook for this portfolio in 2021, I expect this position to be close to doubling from where it is now, or doubling. So hopefully I'll be back this time next year posting a video to tell you I told you so. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.